Hello, hello. It's Jay Chatfield from Loving Yourself to Life. It's a beautiful Sunday morning and I'm up early. Um, Yesterday went on a nice little family walk. It took us about 2 hours to cover about 7 miles. Excuse me. And we had such a good time. Um, my family has been going on my consistency walks with me. I hope maybe people that um, will support you, and some people that are around you, some people that are close to you will support you in something that you're doing to better yourself. My little picture is crooked behind me. Oh, on the other side, I forgot. Okay, maybe I'll fix it later, but it does bother me with my OCD. Okay, better. Um, but see, my kids don't have any choice. They just have to go with me. They just have to go outside, which I'm very grateful for. They wanted to explore trails and things yesterday, so I was like, great. We're still walking and we're still having a good time. Saw a couple of things in nature. A large rat. Yeah, we were in the woods. This thing almost knocked me over off of the path. I thought my husband and I was like, what just what was that? I thought it was a cat. That's how big this rat was. It looked like the size of a cat. But we saw that and some cute little streams and rivers with some interesting things that was floating in it. Yeah, they was floating. And I'm so glad that I didn't have to get in there. So I don't know. I'm not scared of anything. I just don't want it on me. It's just like they say spiders, but they don't have no boundaries. Like, why are you jumping on me? Like, okay. Anyway, I wanted to talk this morning. I had a very interesting conversation with someone that was close to me, and this is about me, not them. My podcast is always all about you and the things that you are going through. So we were talking about the reason why I'm not heavily in the church anymore. And I used to be very heavily in the church. You name it, I've done it. Choir director, dance ministry, children ministry. I was over that in a few churches that I was in. Praise and worship team, gospel chorus. Um, Trying to think of some other things. I was at conferences. I spoke. Sunday school teacher, vacation Bible school teacher. You know, I did a whole lot of that, and those were great teaching experiences along my journey. And during that time, when I was younger, I had visions. I used to have a lot of visions when I was younger. I used to have visions of people dying. Like, I would meet them and literally something would happen. Like, I'll tell you this one story that still stick with me today. I was about 18 years old, and I had a really good friend that I went to church with, and he brought his cousin to church, and we all sat around and we talked, and just a good little environment. And then she came to church another time, and I was walking. Um, I was at a game, at a college game, and yeah, because I was 18, yeah. So I was at a college game, and at the game there were people walking by. Well, she was one of the people, and I didn't know her well enough to be like, "Hey, girl," it wasn't like that. But then I saw her. But as soon as I saw her falling forward, and then I saw a gun. And I'm like, that's crazy. Where this girl gonna be at that there's a gun? So I didn't think of it anymore. And then maybe 2 weeks later, I was listening to the radio. You know, radio was really big in the 90s, late 90s, um, early too, because they used to have the Friday Ride Out. I don't know if you guys had those stations. This was where I was. And radio was really big. And it was like, oh, I want to give a shout out to and condolences to the family of da 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 da. And I'm like, why? Why are they doing that? Condolences. What just happened? And then I get a call, and my friend was like, "Oh my gosh, my girlfriend just called me. Her cousin just got." I was like, "Her cousin who?" And it was the girl I saw. But get this, she was shot in the back of the head. I was like, I saw that. And I'm laughing because it was so uncomfortable for me. Sometimes I do a little chuckle when I'm uncomfortable, but I don't tell a whole lot of people about, the things. But this is my podcast, and maybe you've had experience. So I saw that, and then I had another experience where I was in my bed and I was I don't know, I was talking to God, and then I fell asleep, and my neighbors, we had always been very close. And in this dream, I don't know if it was a dream or a vision. Sometimes I would get them mixed up back then. I just know I saw it. So I was laying there and I saw my neighbor get shot in the stomach. And I was like, oh no, another dream. And I immediately got down on my knees and started praying. I was like, oh, please don't oh, no, 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 no. We love this family. We can't lose this guy. We can't lose him. And so I lay back down in the bed, and a voice came to me. It said, "You will not stop him from being shot, but you have just saved his life." And I was like, oh, thank goodness. So a couple of weeks later, the guy that I had the dream about, there was a party. Well, he didn't go because he had the flu that day. But the next day, someone tried to break into his house. Well, he got shot in the hand. All right. Whew. So I really didn't know what to do. So I would go to my church. These were the people that I spent all my time with. I'd go to the people in the church and I tell them, look, this is what's happening. And also, I can, when I'm talking to a person, I can kind of speak into their lives. It's not so much as a prophetic thing. Like I have not, well, maybe I haven't unlocked that part of me yet, because I'll tell you why. Um, but let me go back. So I went to some of the elders in the church that I was going to, and this was a Baptist church at the time. And I was like, look, guys, these dreams, and I would have other things too, like other things that wouldn't be so deep that would happen. Like I knew it was gonna, um, something was gonna happen in the city or in the world. I'd be like, oh, what just happened? And they'd be like, oh, this happened. And I'm like, what? Or, I don't know, just awareness, like different things of awareness would happen. And so I went and I was like, okay, hey, this is what's happening, and da 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 da. And they would say, well, you need to pray about it, and you need to ask, uh, ask God what He needs you to do for Him, you know, or maybe somebody else told me you need to focus on what you're doing now, or um, you got a demonic spirit because it's not of God to see things happen like that. Something, it was always like that. And so I was not getting any help. I became ashamed of what I was born with. We lived across the street from a graveyard, and one of the oldest in the area. And my sister, she would cry at night because she said she could see stuff. Well, I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. I never ever, she was young, she's younger than me. My sister's 6 years younger than me. So she would see stuff, but I could just feel it in the house. Like, and then I can hear it walking down Yeah, like, for real. And then we still have that house. It's still there across the street from the oldest graveyard, which I didn't know the energy that graveyard possessed. But it could, I mean, people, they're dead, they're buried in there. Of course, it has a lot of energy in it. I mean, we used to play hide and go seek in there all the time. And then there was a park right on the other side of it that we would spend time on Sundays. It's crazy. Like, who builds a park in a cemetery? Because it's called the cemetery park. The cemetery. Oh, that's what it used to be called. I think they changed it. The cemetery park. So, so then after I told them that, like, I would go home and cry, sit in my closet, and I would just cry, 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 cry because I didn't know. I couldn't stop the visions. And then I was like, please just take it away. I asked. I was maybe about, at this time, I was 21, and I just wanted it to stop. And so that day, I heard a voice come to me. My voice said, now I know what's going on, but then it was a voice, and it said, I want to show you something. And then immediately, I didn't have as many dreams as they used to come every day, like back to back. When I laid down, when I got up, I would even see random people, and it was just like, oh no, and and I went on a journey for about 15 years, I want to say. Yeah, because that would put me at about 36. Yeah, 15 years of just me thinking that things didn't exist when they did. And we moved to Miami, and I met a couple of people, and they would talk about how people would, and I'm being very honest, that's just how I am. Um, I heard people talk about like people sending demons and things after them, and I still get chills now with this story. And I started working at a place, and a girl would always say, "There's an evil lady that lives across the street from me," and I was like, "Whatever. If you don't believe in it, it don't affect you." Naive, naive, naive. And she was like, no, she sent something to my house and it put a hole in my floor. I was like, impossible, please. I had this mentality of like, please. So she was like, I'll show you. So I was like, okay, because it can't nothing hurt me anyway. That's how I am. Nothing can hurt me anyway. So because I have the shield of God on my life. That's how I felt. And so we went to her house, and sure enough, the lady lived like adjacent, kind of like, I don't know if the word is catacorning, something like that. Well, she was sitting on the porch, and when I got out the car, I could see this gray. She was gray, almost wolf-like. I've never seen. I'm getting chills. Like my body's like like around her was gray and like black. Like it wasn't really black, it was like dark, and then it was like a grayish dirty color. You know how mud looks? That's what around her, and it almost looked like she had like wolf, but I couldn't see her face, but I could see her. I know it was like her aura. So it kind of scared me because she's the first person I've ever seen that happen to. And I'm looking, and she's looking at me, and she's sitting up looking. And we go in the house, and there was a hole in the floor, like a tile floor. Like it looked like Thor landed on her floor. That's what it looked like. And you know how he makes that thing on the floor, like when he goes down, or whoever the superhero is. But that's what it looked like. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did that happen? And she was like, the lady did it. I was like, the lady? She's like, yeah, she's sitting on the porch over there. So we didn't stay too long. We left. And then we were driving, and the girl called us, and she said the lady came out her house when we left, and she asked, who was that girl? And she said, what girl? She said, the girl, she described what I had on. Now, it was three of us, and she saw me, and she said, who was she? I want to know, who was she? And that's what she kept saying. Who is she? Or who was, or who is she? Who? And she was like, I'm not going to tell you who that is. And she was like, okay. She was, and I wanted to know why she wanted to know who I was. Um, so that night we were going home, she sent something after us. I mean, it may sound crazy. I don't, and the girl who was driving, it froze her in the driver's seat. She couldn't do anything. And I'm in the passenger side, and she's like, help me, help me, help me. And I'm like, help you do what? She's like, I can't move, I can't move. So I learned in church that you should start clapping. And so I started clapping. I was like, go, 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 get out of here, get out of here. I don't know what I was saying it to. I didn't see it. I just know she was frozen. And we were on 35 going 80 miles an hour. And we weren't slowing down. But whatever it was, I let her go, and we were just like breathing hard or whatever. So that was just the first thing. There were many other things that I learned about on this path, but when you tell people like that in a certain organization, they tend to um, look for an answer that was one outside of me, and two, they can't explain it other no other way than what they've heard. That's what I found. And because they had not done the research, they couldn't tell me what to do. And it wasn't for them to tell me what to do, because I had to go on this journey to find the truth within myself. So many times, well, in a lot of um, the religious structures, you're taught to look to something outside of yourself to explain what's going on with you inside. And that was hard. How? If I'm suffering with this, how can that over there help me? But people who believe in that, which is cool, they still have internal things that they need to handle. There's things that just needs to be dealt with that keeps you in this same cycle, that keeps you in the same um, mindset, because you can get a quick fix. Things can happen for you because you believe on that outside level. Yeah, things can happen, because it did for me. I mean, 36 years old. I'm 39 now. And I used to do it. I was thinking that something on the outside could help me all the time, you know? And then I really got to a low place before I understood that the power was within me. That the mind that they would tell me was on the outside was also in me, and that I can do exceedingly with that power that was in a lot of things with that power that was in me, because I was made in the image of that power. So I learned that, and because I needed to spend time with myself, I stepped away from the church because it was a distraction. And I don't, like I say, this is the podcast. I'm not going to apologize, but this is me. This is my truth. You should be able to speak your truth at any time, whether anyone believes it or not. But I needed to step away and look more into me and figure out how I work and figure out who I am, because that lady asked about me because she knew I had power that I did not know I had at the time, because I was saying the power was out there and that I need to go over there and get it when it was already in me. I was able to speak to whatever she sent because of the power that's in me. You can send anything away. If you believe that you have dominion, then you can do so much with your words. You can do so much with your words, but yet and still we depend on something else when it, you're clearly told. that you have the power of God. You do. And Jesus told you that you can do the same thing he do. So I don't know. I don't know why we skip over so many of those things, but again, from I had to step away from it to find out who I am, and it's the best thing that I have done for me. And it may not be everybody's path, but I do know that it was, as I spoke about in spirituality 101. I'm more spiritual now than religious because I have been judged by me having a gift, about by me being able to do the same thing you paid $500 to a prophet to come in and do. I could do, but something was wrong with me. And I'd been told a lot of times during my stint in church when I used to dance and also when I used to speak and sing, people would pull me aside and say, "You don't know who you are." And they were right. I don't know on what level they they were saying it, but I found out I didn't know who the heck I was, and a part of me loving me has when I started loving me, I started unlocking those doors. Like I can see visions again. I have that feeling like, okay, we shouldn't go this way or we shouldn't do that. I have this thing where, okay, all right, there's gonna, and I know now, I have taken into account that I am a healer. You know, I'm a seer. I can do that. And these were gifts that were given to me by God. And these were things that resonated with me. And I'm still finding out. I'm still finding out because it it has come kind of almost like at me really fast. Like I'm getting people in my path that need my help or just want to be able to know themselves in comfort and knowing that they're going the right way. You're the only one who can tell yourself that. I can only give you some insight and we can talk about a certain thing, but you're the one who knows you better than anyone else can tell you that you know you. No one should be able to tell you that you're doing something or going to do something that has never ever crossed your mind. You ever went to someone and they was like, "You gonna be a stripper?" And I mean, for real. I've never, what? A stripper? What, for my husband? My boyfriend? Who am I gonna be? Okay. Or you're gonna be a doctor, and you don't, I don't know. Whatever someone tells you, it should be able to resonate with something that you've already known. And if you're special, there's nothing wrong with you. If you can see visions, if you can do there is nothing wrong with you. You just, at this point, would need to tap into whatever's being shown to you. Spend some time with it, chew on it a little bit. Because I started writing my visions, my dreams, I started writing them down. And also, I can go back and tell you exactly what happens in them. Word for word, like word for word, I can go back and tell you what happens in my dream. And I dream every night. I dream every night. I walk around in my dreams. I can go back into a dream if I wanted to. So I mean, these are things that we are unique, and there's some other things that I can do. I'm not a person that, some people say, you know, I love speaking things into existence. I have my dream board over here and I look at it every day because we have to, life and death is in the power of the tongue. You either going to speak life and live life abundantly, or you're going to speak death and die slowly or die, whatever. But choose what you want to do. and I choose to live in an abundant way. Now, if anybody out there ever want to talk to it, go to my website, Loving Yourself to Life, or go to my Facebook page. I'm here to talk about it because I didn't have anybody to talk about it with. There were few people around me that understood, even my family members. And it's funny because my aunt is a healer. She's a healer with like veg like food, like garden, like her garden. She can grow a dang garden in the desert. She in the desert she can grow it. We got the work. Yes, she can grow a garden anywhere, in a pot, in a shoe. She's the bomb, and she makes we were never sick when we were young, but that was because we walked outside barefoot, we ate dirt, we played with other kids, no matter what. But she would make this mixture for us that would help you, like if you had a cold. She knows how to make that, which she's passed that on to us. Like those are things, those are gifts. My mom can tell if something is wrong with her kids and anybody else. Something my phone's ringing. She was like, oh, what's going on? Oh, what's she knew that my grandmother, and see, these are things that no one ever talked to me about. I had to tell people, like I had to tell people in my family, and then they didn't even tell me when I was younger. They told me when I was older. Like this would have helped me so much had you said this back then. And my grandmother could see the future. She could see variations. Like she could tell what was going to happen, if we did this and went this way, or it would come to her in a dream. Just like I said, my sister has the gift. She has a lot of things going on for her too. I always tell her she's so powerful, but you have to be able to come into that on your own. Same thing, I'm still discovering, you know, I do have, and also the things that you want to do, it'll come to you. Like I have an interest in herbs. I like I'm so interested in doing things with herbs to help heal people and to help heal myself. I haven't gotten all the way there yet because I haven't really studied it or spent time with it, but that's something I have an interest in. Like I say, I'm still unlocking those doors that I locked back then. I was just saying, imagine if I would have did this a long time ago, but everything happens when it happens. But I don't want to keep you so long. This is probably one of my longest podcasts. But I know my truth. And whenever anyone comes to me and asks me, because they know me, why aren't you doing this anymore? Why aren't you doing this anymore? It's because I wanted to get to know me without any distraction, without any opinions. I want to be able to read the Bible. I want to be able to read um, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I want to be able to read the Nag Hammadi. I want to read, you know, I want to read the Kabbalion. I want to read all these things because now I was raised Baptist. I went to a Lutheran school, then a Catholic school, and then I married Pentecostal. My mind is open. And I've always really wanted not knowledge. And I had a Jehovah Witness friend. And I just, so I'm sorry that egg was cracked a long time ago. I heard a lot of things from a lot of places, and everybody had their own rituals and things to do with it. So I didn't mean to do this for 30 minutes, but listen, if you are, I always know that this is going to catch the ears of people who want to, who it resonates with. If it doesn't resonate with you, then just leave it alone. You don't have to say anything bad. Just like you either like tea or you don't. Just don't mess with the tea. You don't have to say anything bad about it. No, thank you. Anyway, that's another podcast. But that's what I wanted to talk about today. Like I said, if you ever need someone to talk to, just go to my outlets, which I talk about in my outro. Um, and just send me an email or send me a contact form on my website, or just message me and I would be glad to talk. I mean, some people just need to talk and hear themselves, and you will know your voice. And your voice is your voice. It doesn't have to be anybody else. So until next time. This is J Tatfield, loving yourself to life.